So we have seen up to Shloka number 20 in chapter 2. So we'll start with verse number 21. So Vinay, can you repeat after me? Okay.
Okay.
Veda vinashinam nityam.
Veda vinashinam nityam.
Twice, please.
Veda vinashinam nityam.
Yayena majamavyayam.
Yaena majamavyayam. Yaena majamavyayam.
Very good. Katham sa purushah partha.
Katam sa purushah partha.
Very good.
Katam sa purushah partha.
Kam ghatayati hantikam.
Kam gatayati hantikam. Kam gatayati hantikam.
Okay, very good. So now from this verse number, the verse 21, as we normally do, and we are seeing the Sankhya Yogam, Atma Tattvam, continuing that. This verse number 21 is very important again. So we will have to spend some time. Yes, okay, very good. And then we will see the rest of the shlokam, which will flow pretty easily. Okay, I need your attention on verse number 21, please. The reason being, this verse number 21 will be referred completely through chapter number 4, chapter number 5, and then in subsequent chapters almost everywhere. Okay, so, and we are going to little bit expand the concept what we have read before as well. On the same of the and getting into the karma yogam. So here again, so number 1 here is partha. In the second line you see, right? Partha. Hey partha. Number 2, yaha. This yaha is whomsoever. Okay, we'll go yaha, whomsoever. Here whomsoever, this person is a jnani, or the person who has got the Atma Jnanam, having now listened to Bhagavan Sri Krishna's Upadesham through 11 to 20. So it is also not conditioning, preparing that jnani status with Arjuna, so that how he shall perform the action in a manner that will not have any attachment to him. So yaha, this jnani, yaha. Number 3, purushaha. Yaha purushaha. So purushaha is a yogi or a jnani. Yaha purushaha. Number 4, yenam. Yenam means that of this an object. Here it is atma. Yenam of atman. Yenam is equal to of this atman, the way that has been taught. And how is known that yenam katam jan? How did he know that? He knew it as number 5, avinashinam. See, the Veda vinashinam is actually Veda plus avinashinam. So that's why it becomes Veda vinashinam. Because of the da, it is got Veda plus avinashinam, not vinashinam, avinashinam. Vinashinam means that which is destructible. A negates it, so it is avinashinam. So what he says is that which is indestructible. That means to say this Atma has got no death. There is no end to it. Avinashinam. And number 6, nityam. Nityam again, what it means is shashvatam. That means eternal. It is not weakened by any disease or anything like that. It is not subjected to any kind of even temporary impact. That is why it is shashvata, shashvatam. Nityam. And number 7, ajam. So yenam ajam is yenam ajam, that ajam. Ajam means ja, means we said it is a birth, so it has got no birth. So it is not that it's just got a birth. It is ajam, unborn. And avyayam. Avyayam again, this means that which is indestructible. That is whether it's one part can be taken off. Yes, it is fully, the Atman is always there. Maybe its parts are getting depleted and then again joined and something happens on top of the Atma. No, it says for the Atma, there is nothing, because when nothing can even touch about it, okay, how can it have any kind of even a small bit or anything to be taken off or anything like that? So it is not based of any even partial loss or anything of that sort. That apaksha rahitam, that is, it is not devoid of any loss or gain. Avyayam. avyayam Veda. Veda is a verb. Veda is verb here. So that yaha, ye partha, yaha Purusha, that jnani who has Veda, means that he knows that is yenam the Atman as ajam, avyayam, avinashinam, nityam. Veda, Kama. So it's a one who has known. Saha, number 10, down below. That jnani, katam means how will he, katam what? Number 12, come, number 3, ghatayati. Katam, howsoever, what will he not do? Kam gatayati. Kam means who, that is another person. Gatayati means that he is ordering someone to kill. Okay, though that means he is not even promulgating, or even he's doing as an agent to say, hey, he's standing behind. We said he's a witness, right? So he's kind of putting this into and I will go deep into this. So he's saying he's not even an agent. Yes, Atman does not perform any action, nor does it consume any action. You said maybe he's an agent, that he is the one that is directing and executing the orders from inside. He says, no, kam gatayati. Whom will he order? Just keep that as one thing. Whom will he order to execute any action? Here, hatayati is just gatayati is gata means is to kill. Just still is one action. Basically, saying you cannot do. He cannot promulgate to do any action to anyone. Kam gatayati, hanti kam. Or do you think he directly is involved in any action, killing? Kam hanti, no one. So here, basically, what that? So you understood the whole thing. So, Partha, yaha purushaha yenam avinashinam nityam ajam avyayam Veda, saha katam kam gatayati kam hanti. Whom will he? So, basically, he's saying Atman is neither an agent nor a doer. That is the statement that is made through the understanding of this verbal meaning. Now we got to get into a little bit more understanding. Just excuse me, I just got to get a glass of water. I forgot. I need 1 second.
Damuji, can you please mute when Babu and someone else is chanting, because it's overlapping. It's like coming as an echo.
Something wrong with my computer. It goes by itself.
I
Mute.
see. Okay.
At the surface,
All right. Thanks.
yeah. At the surface, this shloka may look very much like the shloka number 17, 18. He says, no, ubau no janati. That, you know, he's neither a doer or a consumer. It may look very similar, but it is a lot different. That's why we got to understand this. And we got to understand a little bit from the. So I'm going to plant some doubts. The way I'm going to attempt by Lord Krishna's grace to make you understand this. I'm going to plant some doubt in you and then think in that line. So that's why I wanted to take it first today, and I want you to follow the logic. Once you have followed the logic and understood this, lot of Gita after that also will be very, very easy. Now, Atma is, we said Atma is what? Atma is the one which is, we have given all the Lakshana, right? And Atma is one. Now, the ones that now that we are transacting in this realm or in this transaction reality is through what we call as Anatma, right? When we say Anatma, that which is not Atma, that is starting right from the Buddhi, the Manas, Chittam. Chittam means, you know, that your memory, and in that there are the Indriyas, the Jnanendriyas, and then the Karmendriyas with all those things. So, I am now, for example, talking through with my whatever I have grasped this knowledge from that in the buddhi through my mind as how this should be spoken, and that is being executed through my mouth as sound, and you are hearing it through your ears, and then into your mind thinking about the thoughts, that there is something that I have to now dispel from this shloka, and that to understand into your buddhi, because you want to apply that later from the buddhi. So now in these transactional entities, as we may very easily chain the connection, all these are anatma. All these are atma. This is not, no atman involved in this, because atma cannot hear, atma cannot speak. Atma cannot speak, atma cannot hear. Because when it can't kill, how can it speak? Right? So, and also the scriptures say, so we got to get a little bit on scriptures. Okay. So the and all these entities which are involved in these transactions, they are actually inert. Not only I said it's anatma, they are also called achetanam. Achetan means chaitanyam nahi enka. They are inert. Chaitanyam hai sab mein, but these are, we call it as achetanam, inert. Can a wall speak? Can a ground speak? Can another wall hear? Cannot. So how can this inert objects speak and another inert objects hear? So it doesn't make sense to me. Should not make any sense. So then who is executing this action? Who is commanding each and every person? We are not robots. If God has to create us as robots and made us functionality, then why we have to even listen to all these things? Why have to even know all these things? Right? So there is some missing link between these two. Right? For any action. Because Atma cannot perform any action, you said. How are we to reconcile this? So the answer for this is very, very important. And many of you might have known, I have to teach you this particular buddhi, this manas, this jnanendriyam, this karmendriyam, they are a very special inert object. They are a superior inert objects. How do I say they are a superior inert objects than a brick or a wall or a sand or a wood or anything? By the way of understanding three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Maybe we have not gone into this, but now let's get into this. So in our shastras, all this in this world is in the transactional reality. They are having three, they are admixture or a composition of three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva being the most superior of that, which is basically the most divine. It is a good one, which is not, it is devoid of any anger, any emotions, and that is a guna that is in our buddhi. Our buddhi and manas especially are sattva pradhanam, it is said. The most sattvic entity in this world is buddhi and mind. That is the first thing we should understand. Then the rajas starts little bit from the jnanendriyam and karmendriyam. They are mixture of both the a little bit of, but they're more of rajas. And the brick and those total inert one we said is tamas. Or when the prana leaves out of this body, when it becomes a dead piece of body, then it is a tamas, total tamas. Right? So that sattvic and rajas aspect of in us, what makes us special as a human being? This we must get it. Okay, now what happens is when we execute this action, when I speak, when I means a small I or an individual context, when an execution is happening, that agency or agency and the actions, execution and the consumption, they are happening in the smaller version of this I, which we call as this composition of all this mind and everything. In here, and we are going to introduce one more object called Chidabhasan. This whole thing can be taken into the Jivatman, as we say, Jivatman, as we say, which is not the Atman. Okay, the Jivatman, as we say, is what we also call Chidabhasan. Why I have to bring this term Chit Abhasan? Bhas means, normally means a light, okay, that which shines. Even a tube light or any light is a bhas. So that is why Surya is called Bhas Karaha. Karaha means that which does something. Bhas Karaha, that which gives you the light. That's why Surya is called Bhas Karaha. Okay, now I'm just getting you the word that you get the meaning. So, when you add before ba, abhas, abhas means it is something apparent light. It's an apparency that when you add long before a word, it becomes a kind of an apparent quality of the word succeeding it. So abhas means it's an apparent light. Then chit has also come. So there are three Indian as well. Chit, abhas, chidabhas. So we are all chidabhaskar. I am a chidabhaskar, you are a chidabhaskar, everybody is a chidabhaskar. Only human beings can be chidabhaskar. So what this Chidabhaskar does is, the chit is able to do this kind of a self-shining. But it's a kind of, it is able to draw that, yeah, Atman is ever shining. It's more than the Suryan. Koti Suryan also is not equal to that Atman. That is what we are all actually. But this Abhas, what it does is, it's able to take that energy with a special quality as a human being, and that is what we call as Chidabhaskar. Just an term I have got, Chidabhaskar. Now, what is happening in this Chidabhas is this, why we have to do this is the one which is then functioning with its bank of knowledge, as and also with the mind of reflected all its action and then its reaction that it has come into its memory. It is making him to act and then react. So the knowledge, the chit is always a knowledge. So he has got that knowledge, that connection, chit, to go to the Atman. So it is like, with the special quality, this is like a mirror. So consider that the tamas is like a total apparent silica which is in the soil. Just an example, okay? So, but as this Chidabhas is like a mirror which has got this reflective layer behind it. The reflective layer behind it, which is able to give the special illumination, is what is this higher sattvic component of it, or the sattvic aspect of it, the sattvic attribute of it, the sattvic property of it. The more the sattvic happens in this reflection, the more it is able to reflect that Atman. That is why sattvic means jnanam. So that is the reason, and this is why this so what is happening is, this agent, as if like, actually we are all looking into some mirror, and that though we are telling that one, that mirror, it's actually all of them moving inside the mirror, but we attribute ourselves into that object that is moving outside. And that is where this affliction of our dukkam and sukham and attachment comes. I have to go a little bit deep so that you understand why Bhagavan made this statement. And this fundamental, what I'm saying here, will be as it applies in subsequent chapters. You will know more and more and more. We'll analyze this. When he will say karmanya, when you do an action, how do you do a non-doership? The whole thing in Gita is to be executing the action, but to remain out of it and be a non-doer. You do all the execution in a one nutshell. Gita substance is, you execute all the your actions, but as a non-doer. And the non-doership, how to do this action as a non-doer, is the Gita Shastram. And how that can be attained is with that, with enriching the sattvic aspect of individual person. That's all what it is. And like, in previous class, we said also in summary class, Yagyartat Karmanon Yatra. That is one aspect, because Bhagavan, one day I will give you into the concept of Bhagavan. We'll see the Gita 18 chapters are like this. First 6, they are divided into 3 portions. The first 6 chapters is all about Tvam, meaning to say an individual concept. Not much of Ishvara's concept will come. That's a beauty in our scriptures. It's not exemplifying God. It's exemplifying every individual person, Atman. And the second one is about Ishvara. There we will see more, but I will also give you one day. So then the Asi is where the unification happened, the last 6. So what I'm trying to say is Ishvaraha, when we say even as somebody who is executing, who is the one who is commanding, he's also in the Sattvic aspect. He's a 100% Sattvic. He's 100% Sattvic, and in all aspects, he has got the Rajas and Tamas and everything in his control, in absolute control. That's what is Ishvara. Otherwise, in the Atman and Brahman context, we are all the same. That's what is Advaitam. The only thing is that what is the teaching here Krishna is wanting to do? That's why he said, you are also not born, I am also not born. Krishna straight away started with that, equating everybody into that one. And the whole Shastra's teaching is for us to get into that, which is the get into that what? That is the goal. And to that goal, Bhagavan wants to give this karma yoga. That's all what I wanted to say. So when he's telling Arjuna at this one, kam ghatayati, kam hanti, though they are as very simple words, that is the meaning so much into that. I hope I made this at least a little bit for you to, because the more you read after 18 chapters, I'm sure you will understand. There is no way you will. That is the purpose we will do in this one. I hope you have understood this.
Yeah.
Haji?
Yes.
Okay. So shall we proceed to the next chapter? Because next verses will go pretty quick. That's why I took this. It also came first. Very nice. Okay. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya.
Vasasi jirnani yatha vihaya.
Navani grinhati naroparani.
Navani gruhyati naroparani. Navani
Okay, please go. Sorry. Navani grinhati
naroparani.
tata sharirani vihaya jirnani.
Tatha sarirani vihaya jirnani.
Anyani. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have to do it twice?
Twice, yes, twice. Sorry, it's my mistake. Yes.
Tatha sarirani vihaya jirnani.
Anyani sanyati navani dehi.
Anyani sanyati navani dehi. Nyanyani sanyati navani dehi.
Okay, very good. Very good. Thank you. Sorry, I was a bit just saying. So here, the Krishna is even getting into the next one to say. So now he is getting more into the description of the anatma. So he says here, because we are coming into the executive mode now. So what he's saying, yatha, and this is all about the last passage of the person. How this the space between death and birth. This what is this particular shloka is all about. 22 is a distant for a individual context. That Chidabhasan. So now we understand what I say Chidabhasan. What happens to the Chidabhasan? Yata, number 1, you see, Yata, number 2, Naraha. That Naraha, so you see, Naraha. That is a human. Yata Naraha, 3, Jirnani means completely digested, right? Means here it is completely digested, means completely it is used up. its lifetime, its shelf life is gone. Shelf time, it is, you bought something, its shelf life is say 2 years, 20 years. This is 60 to 80 years, its shelf life is gone. Jirnani, here vasamsi. Vasamsi means a dress. As how we update our wardrobe, jirnani vasamsi. Vasamsi means your cloth. Yeah, vasamsi. Vihaya means you discard it. Having discarded the old clothes, vihaya. Then number 6, aparani. Another one's adarani, another new dress. Yeah, aparani, navani, new ones. Grinhati, naraha, Grinhati, he takes one. He goes and either buys one or somebody gives him. If you are a child, or he takes a new one. So yata naraha, jirnani vasamsi vihaya, aparani navani grinhati. As how he takes and changes his wardrobe, and when something goes bad, anything. Right, nowadays we get Chinese goods, so our shelf life is even much lesser. So we keep discarding, keep buying, keep discarding, keep buying. Right. Tata, similarly to number 10, Dehi. So Dehi is a little bit above. This Dehi is that Chidabhasana. Okay, this Naraha, when you want to say, maybe, in this relative state of one Jivatma, but one Jiva, one lifetime, whereas Dehi is the one who has taken a lot of lifetime. This Sukshma Sharira plus Karana Sharira. This Dehi, who has got this both, all three Sharira. Dehi, number 12, Sharirani Vihaya, Jirnani Sharirani. Number 11 is Jirnani. See, Jirnan, that is a Sandhi. That's why it is Jirnani. Jirnani, same thing, this lifetime of this body, which has gone about, say, for example, 60 to 80 years, or whatever your longevity is. Jirnani, Sharirani, body, Vihaya, having discarded. So Vihaya, he discards it. And what does he take again? Navani, a new body. No. Anyani, Navani, Sanyati. Another new body, Navani, Samyati. Samyati means he acquires it properly according to what he is destined to, accordingly what he is qualified to that parents, to that environment, to that house, and to that country and everything. So very interesting, this particular one. So that's all he says. So it's you that what it is up to your every this. So he has just reduced this one particular deha, this human, this one particular biological body to a particular dress, and nothing more than that. That's all what it is said here. In fact, in Viveka Chudamani, very nice. And what did we remember, the Vedanta fundamentals we saw? This is called apanchikrita. So there is always a panchikrite bhyo bhutebhyaha stulebhya. So purva karmana, again you get another panchikrita bhutam, bhogaya ayatanam. So this is the one that is from which we have to, the purpose of this body is to consume and also execute the action to get rid of that particular the punya or the papa, and to bring it to a zero balance. Once the zero balance finished, you don't have to take any more continuously. So the whole game is to make it to a zero balance of papa and punya. That's the game. Now, this particular shloka, I remember a long time back, I used to always think, oh, this is how one must think how it will be in all the ambulances when they go. They put this one, the person will be very happy, or even before they give him the very critical one into ICU, give it to him, probably he will be very happy. Or one should probably, think about it in the last time. Okay, what is going to happen? So if this keeps on ringing in our mind, in that last moment when we are going in the ambulance with all the sirens going back and forth and everybody following, you will be thinking, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnadi naroparani. So, you are not just worried. That's okay. The siren is all about the same thing. Yeah. So I was thinking about it. And then it so happened, I don't know, in one place in Coimbatore, where, they do this electric commission. It's happened to me personally, that's what I tell you. But, so there what they have is that person has put it like this. So though, before they send it to the furnace, the last one, you press a button. So then they will say the last person who was going to do, when you press the button and as the body is going, they put this same shloka. So the shloka goes on when the body is taken in that furnace. They be very, very clever. That is one person called in Coimbatore. They do that. So it was very incidental that they. Okay. So more about now the attributes of this Atmanagam. Okay. So Vinay, you want to chant after me, if you don't mind? I'll mute you, Damayanti. I'll just give a chance to Vinay. Nainam chindanti shastrani.
Nainam chindanti shastrani. Nainam chindanti shastrani.
Nainam dahati pavakaha.
Nainam dahati pavakaha. Nainam dahati pavakaha.
Nachainam kledayantyapaham.
Nachainam kledayantyapah. Nachainam kledayantyapah.
Nashoshayati marutaha.
Nashoshayati marutah. Nashoshayati marutah.
Fantastic. Your pronunciation accent, very nice. Very good. Improved, Vinay. Very nice. So you understand why we said that kletayantyapah? Just again, I'm trying to get you that one. Whenever in lot of Gita, as I said, right? Because after finishing that quarter, because we are finishing one quartlet, one padam. After that, the letter 15, the na, is a soft consonant. So the apaha, that visarga, becomes a u. So that's why it becomes apaha plus u becomes apo. That is why we are putting it as apaha. Just again revising you that sandhi. So that's why we are saying, though it is kletayant apo, is actually kletayant apaha. Okay, just to keep that in mind, because that keeps coming everywhere. So what again it says is yenam, number one. Yenam, yenam is what here? Atman, right? This Atman, yenam, shastrani, number two, shastrani, na, number three, chindanti. Yenam, nainam is actually na plus yenam. Okay, so the na plus a plus a becomes I. So nainam. So na yenam shastrani na chindanti. Of this particular the Atman, Shastrani, any weapon, even it could be the most powerful nuclear weapon, cannot na chindanti, cannot cut it in parts. Chindanti. And number 5, again nainam, na enam. Okay, enam pavakaha. Pavakaha means a fire. Na dahati, do not burn. So these are even from different aspects what Krishna is saying. That's all. Na dahati, burn or reduce to ashes. Then number 9, again chainam, cha enam, right? So enam, again number 9, and number 10, apaha. The kletayant apaha is kledayanti plus apaha. Okay, so enam apaha. Apaha means the water. Na, not. Kledayanti means wet it. So water also, any amount of water cannot even wet it. Not by drowning or anything. Kledayanti, no, it cannot even wet it. So what about anything else? Kledayanti, cha. So that is that 13, chainam cha. And the last one, 15, na marutaha shoshayati. Not the marutaha means here the wind god. Wind na soshayati means, yeah, that also cannot dry him up. Okay, here Atma is almost like, for example, in our perceivable example, is like a space, but Atma is not space. He's like a space, right? You cannot burn a space. A space cannot be drowned. A space cannot be broken into parts, right? So, but space also, but Atma Spaces come from Atma. Right? So Atma pervades everything. But space is only for an example that I said, but it is more. What Bhagavan is also saying here is that this one cannot do because it has got no parts, no limbs. But again, is a more of an example from a relative state of our conceivable nature, if Atma can ever be destroyed by all these things. So is given. Again, 24. Achedyoya Achedyoyamadahyoya Achedyoyamadahyoyaha. Sorry, yoyam. Achedyoyamadahyoyam. Vinay, you're on mute, I think.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Okay. Achedyo yamada hyoyam. Achedyo yamada hyoyam.
Akledyo soshya evacha.
Akledyo shosya eva cha. Akledyo shosya eva cha.
Nitya sarvagathasthanuhu.
Nitya sarvagata stanu. Nitya sarvagata stanu.
Achaloyam sanatanaha.
Achaloyam sanatanaha. Achaloyam sanatanaha.
Okay, this is same as the same number 23. Only thing it is given with the a instead of na, letter na is all put as a. That's all. There was nothing here more. That's why I said after that one everything will flow. So I am here. I am is same like yenam. The what is on the previous. I am Atma. I am Atma. Brahma. So that I am this Atman. Achedyaha. Chintanti achedyaha. Cannot be cut into parts. Then number 3, I am adahyaha. Adahya. Adahya means cannot be. Dahati means burnt. Ada negates, as I said always. Adahya means it cannot be burnt. Same thing as pavakaha na dahati is equal to adahyaha. There dahati is a dahya. That's all. It cannot be burnt by whatever it is. Adahyaha. Then I am akledyaha. Number 5. Akledyaha means it cannot be wet. It cannot be made wet by any substance. By any substance. Then number number 6, cha and eva. Similarly, and 2, and also cha eva, 6 and 7. Number 8. Number 8 is asosyaha. Asosyaha. Meaning to say it cannot be dried. Because you see in the previous one, Marutaga sosyati, soshayati, here asosyaha. That's all. Na soshati is equal to asosyaha. So really it's the same thing. But literally in a different way. Cannot be dried up. Asosyaha. And number 9, I am. Again, I am Atma. Number 9. Number 10, Nityaha, which is what has been said before. Nityaha, everlasting. And we said Shashvataha, right? And then again, I am Sarvagataha. It can go. This is the one that pervades everything. There is no place that it is not there. So then we should always know, even in the soil, Atma means it's just not only me who's living or anything, everything. Right from this, anything that can be inert or living everywhere, that is that Atma. Sarvagataha. I am then Achalaha. Number 12. Stanu, Rachalo is there, no? There's Stanu plus Achalaha. So Achalaha means it's immovable. It cannot, because it's gone everywhere, right? So you cannot, so Achalaha. And Stanuhu. Stanuhu means it's like a complete, is as stable, the most stable of all that, because it cannot be moved. Stanuhu. And I am Sanatanaha. Then the last one, that which is eternal by from all magnitude and from any dimensions that you can think of. That's all what it is. Same thing as number 23. But the most important things to understand is, because this does not have any limbs or it has got any other properties, Okay, and this is the same Sat Chit Ananda, but when we say Sat Chit and Ananda, they are not attributes of Atman, because attributes mean there are only a properties, but this is all are the same. So the Sat itself is a Chit, Chit itself is Sataiva Chit, Chitaiva Ananda. All these are same thing, the same consciousness. So that's really there is no limbs or parts. That's all what Bhagavan is trying to say. And this is the last one for today. Avyaktoyamachintyoyam.
Avyakto yavachintoyam. Avyakto avyavachintoyam.
Avikaryoyamuchyate.
Avikaryo yamuchyate. Avikaryo ayamuchyate.
Tasmadevam viditvainam.
Tasmadevam viditvenam. Tasmadevam viditvenam.
Nanushochitumarhasi.
Nanu sochitumarhasi. Nanu sochitumarhasi.
So Bhagavan again is finishing off and he's trying now coming to more to him. So I am this Atma, I am Atma, Avyaktaha. Same as Avyayaha is an Avyaktaha. That it is not that it is manifested in some way. Avyaktaha, it is unmanifest. It really cannot be manifest. So that's why it can't be, it cannot be perceived by any name or form or anything like that. So it's Avyakta, it's not, it's unmanifest. And that is why it is I am Achintyaha. That number 3, I am, and number 4, Chintya is there, no? I am Achintyaha. Because it is Avyaktaha, it is I am Achintyaha, that it mentally we cannot be perceived this, and it cannot be objectified, because then that has to be another Atma to perceive one. So it cannot be. So, you're getting now more drilled into this by this repetition of that. I am Achintyaha and I am Avikaryaha, number 5 and 6. Avikaryaha, meaning to say it is not the one that it can go into the Shat Vikaram. The chapter, the Shloka number 20, we have seen Shat Vikaram, right? That changing of, from birth and growth and everything, depletion and death. So it is Avikarya. It is not subjected to any change, internal or external. So there is no change of state happening inside. Avikarya, number 7, Uchyate. That is how it is said. Then Krishna is now concluding this. Tasmat. So Arjuna, I've taught you all about this Atman and how we should be in that, fixing your concept and principles, everything into Atman. Tasmat, number 9. Yenam, the Viditvainam, no, that is Viditva, Yenam becomes Viditvainam. Okay. Yenam, 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 Eva. Yenam eva viditva. Yenam eva viditva. Tasmad evam. Yenam evam viditva. Viditva means having known. The way I have taught so far. Here vidhi means to know. Viditva means having known. Having known so far from verse number 11 to this 25, Arjuna, viditva. Number 13, na. Na, then nanushochitum arhasi means na plus anushochitum plus arhasi. That's the front one. Na anushochitum arhasi. So we started in that 11, ashochya nanvashochastvam. From there, Bhagavan said, that's for now I've given you all these fundamentals, principle, Arjuna. Na anushochitum. That for you to get so much perplexed and worried about all of them, arhasi, meaning to say that you have to be here. Arhasi means normally qualified, here not qualified. That is, it is purposeless. When you say arhasi means it is purposeless. Why? Because he's also saying, look, you are going to worry about these ones, the ones that are getting killed, the ones that are getting wet, the ones that are getting burnt. They are always going to change. They are in the cycle of changing. So if you're going to be changing, your thoughts are always on the anatma, that is also going to be, your worry is never ending. That's his logic. You want the worries to end? Then think about the one that is not changing. And the thing that is you are truly are, because you have reflected your identity into another one, in that one that is moving in that mirror, which we saw in that one. That is why that is happening. And that if you're going to be onto that one, even if it is anything in that, it is never ending. So it is purposeless, it's futile for you to be ever in that aspects to worry. Don't worry about it. Let that happen as it is. So that is why he says, Na anushochitum arhasi. With that, I think we'll finish for today. That's why I said the first one, that one, if you understood, the rest will flow here. And from next one again, we will go a bit. Any doubt for any of you so far in this? All fine? The logic and what we are trying to do. And the speed is also, I think, is fine. Right? Okay. We'll just do the Gita. Vata Gita Mahatmyam Dharau Vacha Bhagavan Parameshana Bhakti Rabhya Vicharini Prarabdham Bhujyamanasya Katam Bhavati He Prabho Shri Vishnu Ruvacha Prarabdham Bhujyamano hi Gītābhyāsaratas sadhā samuktas sasukhi loke karmanā nopalipyate maha